Hey folks, I'm Sir Vainglory, back with Steel Division, Normandy 44, and what I want to do today is have a look at the Battlegroup creator. I think not something I've tried out yet, so I thought I may as well go through this, make a video of it, and hopefully get some feedback from guys that are a bit more experienced. And if you're not experienced at all, hopefully this will give you an idea of how to go about creating a battle group. So I'm going to base this on the 15th Infantry Division, or just 15 ID. So when you open up the overview, first thing that you notice, number of slots. There are 8 different unit types, and the 15th Infantry Division can deploy up to 40 of these cards. And up here you'll see the number of points that we accrue each minute of the battle. So you get 500 points to start with in the deployment phase, and then for every minute it ticks past in phase A you get 85 points, then it goes up to 120, 125. So roughly speaking, you're going to get something like 1200 points that accrue during each phase, in addition to the 500 that you start with at the deployment phase. So that's what you've got to try and bear in mind when you're creating your units. You want to make sure that you've got affordable cards and you're not totally overloaded in any one particular phase. So I want to try and do something that's based on some degree of accuracy in terms of our World War II Infantry Division. So just to explain that you're not actually going to create the Infantry Division here. A British Infantry Division consisted of 3 infantry brigades plus divisional artillery and support elements. Each infantry brigade had 3 battalions. Each battalion had 4 rifle companies, and each rifle company had 3 rifle platoons. So if you look on infantry, you have 6 sections here. So this one card is 6 sections, and there are 3 sections in a platoon. So you would need to deploy 54 of these, I think around about 54, to be able to create or to deploy a full rifle division. So you've only got 40, so there's absolutely no way you can do that. So I reckon that what you're looking at deploying is roughly almost a battalion in size. So the battalion, that would be 4 companies, each of 3 platoons. So I want to base my battle group here around the core elements that I would deploy. So I'm going to start off with the infantry, and the initial deployment, I think we would have a rifle company. So a rifle leader, right click on that. You've got 3 cards or 3 sections here, so that would represent the company HQ and 2 platoon HQs. So that would suggest that there's one platoon, the 3rd platoon, being held in reserve. So if you select the 6 rifle sections, that equates to 2 platoons. So that in effect gives you 1 company, 1 rifle company, assuming 1 rifle platoon in reserve. So I'm going to also give them some recon, and I think what I want to give them is just the scouts and the universal carrier. The carrier has a Bren gun attached. I think I would prefer to have that than the machine gun carrier, which has a machine gun mounted up here as well as the Bren. So I'm going to select those scouts, and I think that's all the scouts for phase A, at least in terms of my core deployment. I want to also give them some anti-tank, so I'm going to pick a 6-pounder. There are 2 6-pounders there, obviously. and for artillery support I'm going to give them a 2-inch mortar and a carrier. So I think that would be my initial deployment. So that's 160, 120, it's 280, 400, 520, 660. So I'm not going to be able to deploy everything there, but it does give you could have maybe deploy both your anti-tanks or one anti-tank, one mortar. But that would give us the start. As the battle goes on, I would want to... Oh, can we not go back? Come on, yeah, there we go, fine. Yep, so then I want to bring in another short company. So again, another rifle leader and another 2 rifle platoons. And that will take us up to, I think, roughly round about this 1200 points that we're probably going to be able to deploy during the first phase. I might, just for a bit of variety, to give me some extra choice, I think I'm going to bring in some Piats and some machine gun support. Is that in the infantry? Yeah, a Vickers heavy machine gun. So I think that's probably as much as I can take for the core of Phase A. Thinking about Phase B, again I want to bring in more infantry. And I think actually we'll bring in some assault pioneers and the 3rd Infantry Company. So again that would be rifle leaders and 3 rifle platoons. I think we'll bring in some Bren light machine guns to support these guys. And in terms of recce, Phase B, I think I'd like to bring in this. It's basically a tank chassis converted into like a scout vehicle. So we'll have one of those, and also, just to give us a bit more anti-tank punch, the Daimler Little John. Got quite a good anti-tank gun on it. And now I want to think about a bit more sort of diversification. So I think I will bring in a Spitfire in this phase. So we could get 3 of those. To be honest, I'm probably not going to bring in 3 Spits during the game, so I'm going to take the higher quality ones and some tank support. I think between these two, the Churchill 6 does have the bigger gun, but they've both got the same armour piercing range. The Churchill 4 has more ammo, so I'm going to just opt for the Churchill 4 at this point. And some more artillery support. I think I have to go for the good old 25 pounder, and again a priest, so it'll be either that or that I would deploy probably. I'm not going to deploy both. So going back to have a look, so we're maxed out now in terms of the infantry, which is fine. So it's now about coming into the final phase of the battle, bringing in heavier equipment to just try and, if necessary, push for the final win. I haven't brought any support yet, but I think what I want to do first, I'm going to pick up actually another couple of Little Johns, and Tanks. Yeah, the Challenger. It's got to be the Challenger for the extra armour piercing. Air, because it, again, as I said, in Phase C you really want to get units forward quickly, so I'm going to go for the Typhoon to bring in some more anti-tank capability, and Wolverines. I'm going to go for the more experienced units again, and some long-range artillery, bringing this heavy battery. So that's essentially the core of the battle group, the main elements I would probably going to deploy. But to fill it out, we've got plenty of support spaces, tanks, anti-air. So let's start with the tanks. Get some Honey Stewarts just for an option in the early game, and also in Phase B I think, and we'll pick up the Sherman for Phase C. What else did we have space in? Support. Let's have a look what we've got here. Let me take some Dingo armoured cars and some supply. I think an AVRE and a crocodile. They've still got a few spaces left for the later phases. Anti-tank, we're missing something in B. So I think we'll pick up 17-pounder here. And maybe pick up another 6-pounder in A. I don't know if I need any more anti-tank. Phase C, we've already got Wolverine coming in. Let's have a look at the anti-air. Anti-air. They're not too different. I think I might go for the Tripolston. And in Phase B, I'll go for the Buffers. Still got plenty of space in there. Let's go back, look at support. In Phase B we better get some more supply. And bring in anything else? Or maybe just leave that for now. So we've got Recon's maxed out, Infantry's maxed out, Tanks are maxed out, Support we've got a couple of spaces, Anti-tank we've got one space left. Or maybe let's pick up a Wolverine, and that completes that. Anti-air we've got plenty of space, but we've only got 3 activation slots left. Should I pick up anything else in terms of anti? Let's have Typhoon anti-tank in B. Gives us a couple left. I'm not sure. So I'm maxed out there. We've got 2 spaces left to get some support or some anti-air. Some more artillery. I think. Maybe get some more support. What do we have already? We've got AVRE and a crocodile. Another AVRE or a Churchill? I don't know. What about anti-air? What about some anti-air in C? Yep. Take a Crusader. And let's stick in a Spitfire to give us air, and that's us maxed out. Okay, so there's the final battle group. Try to get a mixture of support, apart from the infantry, which we're going to pile in during the first 2 phases, and then use our tanks, mobile anti-tank units, and our air support to try and force the victory if necessary during phase C. So that's my battle group. I'd be interested to see how this actually works in combat. So I reckon I'll probably make a video of that at some point. If you want to check back and see how this fares, you're very welcome. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.